It shows just how cruel and manipulative Theo was that 6 residents of Coronation Street have become suspects in his murder investigation. The most obvious person under suspicion is Todd, whose year-long relationship with Theo was filled with emotional abuse, manipulation, intimidation, and constant mind games. However, Todd is not the only one being looked at by police. Several people close to him are also connected to the case, including his father figure George Shuttleworth, George's partner Christina Boyd, his close friend and adopted daughter Summer Spellman, and Theo's bitter former wife Danielle Silverton. At the top of the suspect list is Gary Windass, Theo's boss and closest friend, at least until he discovered the truth about Theo's abusive behavior. Gary's history certainly does not work in his favor, especially considering he has been involved in killing before. Adding to the suspicion, he destroyed Theo's van with a sledgehammer on the day Theo died and later erased the security footage. When detectives questioned him, Gary received help from his wife Maria Connor, who provided a false alibi to protect him. Yet murder may not have been the only secret Gary was hiding that evening, as there are growing suspicions that he spent time with an old romantic flame. Since Sarah was attacked on the night of Theo's death, she and Gary have appeared unusually close, frequently holding private conversations and behaving as though they have rekindled an old connection. Gary has also been quick to defend Sarah whenever Maria criticizes her, which has only increased suspicion surrounding his actions. Complicating matters further is the fact that one of the detectives working on the investigation is D.S. Kit Green, who also happens to be Sarah's boyfriend and has already brought Gary in for questioning. There is little doubt that Kit believes Gary is involved and is determined to prove it. Todd is facing problems of his own. He was devastated after learning that Summer deliberately made herself ill to avoid being sent to prison for Theo's murder. Things became even worse when investigators recovered Todd's phone and discovered it was covered with the fingerprints of Brody Michaelis. Todd is also aware that Sarah and Gary are hiding something significant from those around them. Whatever secret they are keeping is expected to come out during a disastrous dinner party that promises to change everything. With Kit considering a marriage proposal to Sarah, the evening is set to be unforgettable. Viewers already know the special episode will include flashbacks and scenes from the future, revealing the dinner party ending in shattered glass and blood-stained table linen. The mystery remains, whose blood is it? The truth begins to emerge during the dramatic gathering as old grudges and tensions rise to the surface. Maria directs several sharp and hostile remarks toward Sarah, while Kit repeatedly tries to isolate Gary and makes pointed comments about dishonesty and hidden truths. Then, during a toast to the hosts, Maria shocks everyone by accusing Gary and Sarah of carrying on a secret affair for several weeks. The revelation leaves the entire room stunned. Following the disastrous evening, Todd seeks out Sarah and admits he believes there's much more to her relationship with Gary than anyone realizes. He urges her to tell the truth. Later, Gary confronts Kit on the street, reminding him that he has no concrete proof linking him to Theo's death. Gary insists to Todd that there is no affair, explaining that Sarah simply trusts him and values his support. He claims Kit's jealousy is the real reason he is trying to frame him for murder. Still searching for answers, Todd questions Sarah directly, asking whether Gary knows more about Theo's death than he is willing to reveal. Can Sarah finally provide the information Todd desperately needs? Coronation Street favorite Aaron McCusker has been spotted returning to one of his other familiar television roles away from Weatherfield. The actor joined the ITV soap in late October last year as Ben Driscoll, the partner of Eva Price. Ben secretly brought Eva back to the Rover's return before eventually revealing the truth and returning her to Weatherfield. Aaron arrived on the cobbles alongside another important member of the Driscoll family, Ben's mother Maggie. Viewers soon learned that Maggie was the true owner of the Rover's return and had stepped in to rescue her son from serious financial trouble. Since their arrival, The Driscoll family have become deeply involved in several major storylines across Weatherfield. Most recently, Ben was stunned to discover that his biological father was actually the late Jim McDonald, making Steve McDonald his half-brother. He also learned that his mother had been connected to the death of the man he had always believed was his father during his childhood. The family have additionally been dealing with the devastating consequences of Will's grooming ordeal. The teenager recently came forward and told police the truth about his inappropriate relationship with athletics coach and teacher Megan Walsh. While these dramatic events continue to unfold on screen, Aaron has also been busy working on a separate acting project. Outside of Coronation Street, he is well known to television audiences for his role in the BBC crime drama Hope Street. The Northern Irish series, which first premiered in 2021, follows the police officers and residents of the fictional seaside town of Portdevine. Production is currently underway on a feature-length special titled One of Our Own, a Hope Street film, with Aaron returning as fan-favorite character Clint Dunwoody. According to reports, the actor recently appeared in several behind-the-scenes photographs shared on social media by members of the production team. One image showed him receiving a trim and shave while preparing for filming. The post celebrated the completion of the first week of filming and offered fans a glimpse into the making of the upcoming project. Coronation Street's Megan Walsh appears set to land herself in more trouble next week as fears grow that she may once again be influencing Will Driscoll ahead of her upcoming court case. Concern spreads when Susie unexpectedly hears Megan's voice coming through Will's gaming console, raising questions about whether the disgraced teacher has secretly re-established contact with her former victim. While using Will's video game system, Susie notices a player with the username Minimog16 and decides to connect. To her horror, the voice that comes through the headset sounds unmistakably like Megan. The discovery leaves Susie stunned, and after identifying herself, the mysterious player immediately disconnects without another word. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, Susie quickly informs Ollie about what she heard. Alarmed by the revelation, Ollie and Maggie rush into the Rover's Return living room, determined to confront Will and uncover the truth. They begin to wonder whether Megan is still exerting influence over Will despite the fact that her trial is only days away. Earlier in the week, tensions are already running high within the Driscoll family. Ben, Eva, Maggie, and Melanie find themselves divided over an important decision regarding Will's involvement in Megan's hearing. The family disagree over whether he should appear in court in person or provide his evidence through a video link. As the argument becomes increasingly heated, Will quietly removes himself from the discussion and leaves the room. Rather than dealing with his worries alone, he turns to Tim Metcalf for support. Will admits that while everyone is debating what is best for him, nobody has actually asked what he wants to do. Feeling sympathy for the teenager, Tim listens carefully to his concerns. Having experienced a similar situation when he was manipulated by an older woman during his youth, Tim understands exactly how difficult the situation is for Will. Determined to help, Tim accompanies him back to the Rover's Return and urges the family to start paying attention to Will's wishes instead of arguing among themselves. His comments force Ben, Eva, Maggie, and Melanie to consider whether they have truly been listening to what Will wants. Coronation Street continues airing on ITV1 on weekday evenings and is also available to stream on ITVX.